Hello guys and girls, so if you've made it this far to this video, I'm very grateful and I thank you all for sticking along with me, the feedbacks and the likes and stuffs. So, and in today's my series for my Python series for beginners, we're going to be working on regular expressions and input validations in Python. And I found out it's a broad topic, it's hardly found, and but it's useful and most people find it very confusing, so I wanted to do a video on this particular topic. Okay, so let's get started. So this is everything we're going to be covering, and I'll break it down as cool as possible and very so it will be very understandable for you all. So that's why it's long like this, but I will make sure I'll break it down, and I'll also try to make this video short, but I know it would be long because we have to also work with many other external modules in Python as well in this tutorial. So firstly, we're going to just kick start off now, so we won't waste much time on explanations. So the next thing, what's regular expressions? Regular expressions let us find or validate patterns in text. Examples: check if an email, phone number, or postal code is valid. So it's very useful. You can use regular expressions for many things, even password validation and many other things. Then we use the RE module in Python for regex. So if you want to import an inbuilt module in Python, you use the RE module in Python for regex. So we now have the last thing, per input plus. It makes asking user for input safer and easier. So per input plus, I know most of you have not heard of it and most of you have heard of it. So it's an external module built by a random Python programmer, and it's now it's very cool, and it helps in validating users inputs, and it's more cool than normal inputs. You will still go dive deep into input plus after regex. So I'll show you guys. Regex is a little bit confusing, but it's very cool if you understand how it works. So I don't have all the knowledge of regex in my head, so I'll probably go to Google sometimes in this tutorial and do research on patterns that we're going to be following. Okay, so the next thing, we are going to have many RE functions, regex functions. We have, I will just be calling this RE regex. So regex.search, so it has pattern and string. So what it does is it finds a match anywhere in the string. Then we have regex.match. So it has two parameters as well. You put the pattern and the thing you want to match. Then what it does is checks only the start of the string. Then we have regex.findall. So we have this function as well. The pattern, then the strings. It returns all matches as a list. Then we have regex.sub, pattern, replacement, and string. So it replaces text. So these are the basic functions that you need to know in regex. So these are the symbols that we use to work with regex, and we have the dot symbol, this one. So it means any character, \d, digits from 0 to 9, \w, word characters, \s, white spaces, this annotation, start of string, this $sign, end of string, plus one or more characters, asterisk 0 or more characters. So this one, and between n and m times. So there are many things you need to understand in regex, but I will not want to feed you in everything in just one tutorial. So you can just write notes on all this and keep it in your jotter or something, so you will not forget about it. So let's get started. So now the first thing we're going to do, make sure you always import your modules, external modules, before using them. But regex is built in Python already, so you can just import it without downloading any external modules. But our PyInput Plus, I'll go you guys through the step-by-step way of downloading it and working with it as well. So sorry. So the first thing is we are checking if a text has a pattern. So without much so we have to, firstly, when writing a regex, we write the pattern. So I'll just call it my pattern is equals. So firstly, I have to escape it as a raw string, so it doesn't, because we're using backslash. So anytime you're using backslash, it's a very good advice that if you want to use it, make it useful and it means something. You have to escape it. You have to make Python know that it's a raw string. So you use this R, then put this as well. So you do \d. So Python now know, okay, so this is a raw string. So it takes it as a raw string. But if you do something like this, Python will say that it's like, yeah, trying to escape D or something. So you stick with your \d. It's very cool and it's more safe. So this is our pattern. what we are trying to just check is if a number has digits, or let's add something else. We now put plus here. This plus means one or more characters. So the number has to contain digits and has like one or more digits. So that's what this means. Like it's a digit and it has one or more digits in it. So we now have, like, let's say we have a text. I'll just call it text. Text is equal to, I'll now say hello, like this, hello 1 2 3. So you can see it has digits in it, okay, one or more digits in it. So now let's match the thing. Let's search if there's a digit in the pattern. So this one, we use our if statement. If regex dot search, so search, what did we say that search is used for? To find a match anywhere in string. So we're trying to match it. Regex dot search. So what do we want to search? Firstly, it says we are going to put in the pattern, then the string. So the my pattern would be, we'll remove this, my pattern. I'll just call my pattern, then comma, then text. So that the text is the string. So we are matching it with it. So if regex dot search is this pattern and this text, you highlight it like this and we'll print contains digits. Then else, I'll just do my else like this. Then else will print no digits found, like this. Okay, so that's just basically it. So we'll check if a text contains digits and then we'll print no digit found if it doesn't. So if I should run this program like this, contains digits, so you can see it prints here contains digits. Okay, so the next thing, imagine if you want to play around with it, you can just remove this digit and see if it matches. So if I do shift F10, no digit found, because there's no digit in it. So it's a very good way of searching using regex. So it's a very cool way that I can tell you guys to use. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is I hope you understand this one. We call the search function, then we pass in our parameters, that is pattern, then the string, and it checks if it contains digits, else it prints no digits found. So the next thing we're going to do is to match an email. So there are lots of pattern in an email. So we have to do, firstly, to match an email, we're going to do, let's say we'll just say, we'll call it email pattern, like this. Email pattern is equals, so what do you want to use as our pattern? Email pattern we'll call our raw string. So let Python know there's a raw string. So, and now it's time for me to go to Google. Yeah, now I'm in Google, and in Google, in my Google, I'll search how can I validate an email. I'll just say a basic email address using regex and Python. So if I search it, hold on. Okay, so now you can see the match we're going to be matching with. So it gives us, you can see the raw string that I was telling you guys about. Then we'll just copy the validation that we need. This one, I'll explain the validation as cool as I can, as anyhow. I'll just explain the validation with our symbols I introduced to you guys. Then if I should put this right here, and yeah, so this is the validation of our email pattern. Okay, so if I should, so this is the email pattern. You can see it says starts with this annotation that we had here. It says start of string, and this dollar sign, remember, it's end of string. So you can see it starts with either a letter, a small case, an uppercase, 0.9. Then what the dots mean? Any character, underscore, or percentage. So you see they have lots of patterns plus this thing. Then it contains at symbol, then the same pattern here. Then it has dots. Then it contains either CA or com or COM. Like, yeah, so that's what it basically does. So you can see the two. Yeah, it means it can contain like two strings. That's what we are saying here, between n and n times. So it can contain two, either CA, because some emails have CA and some emails have COM and so on. So it can from 2 and above. So it ends with it. So you can see the dollar sign at the end. So it ends with this thing. So you can see the dollar sign at the end. So there's a very big explanation on how it works, but if you go through it very well yourself, you understand that it's cool and it works perfectly well as it should. So firstly, now let's give it an email. I'll just call this my email is equals, then my email, I'll say it's I'll call it, let me give an invalid email so you see what happens. I'll just call it like this, like an invalid email. No, firstly, let's give a valid email. I'll just call it uh I'll just call it test at example.com. So you see it meets all the requirements. So what are we going to do next? I would use our if statement, but this time around we're not going to use search, we're going to use match, so it can match the string, our email, with the pattern right here. So I'll now use our if statement and I'll say if regex.match, then we'll put our pattern as we did here. So my pattern, I'll now say email pattern. Why is this thing showing? Yeah, it won't block me. Then email pattern, then I'll not add what the string, my email. So you can see if regex match this pattern with this my email, what should we do? Let's say let's print valid email like this. Else let's print invalid email like this. Yeah, so that's it. So the same way for this one, but this one we're just searching for numbers, and this one we're searching for pattern. Like we are matching it with this particular pattern. So if I should run this program, Shift F10, you can see invalid email. Wait, what's the problem? If reg pattern dot match. Why is it showing an invalid email? Why is it showing an invalid email? Oh my god. Plus this email pattern rematch reg.match my email, else print invalid email. What am I missing? What am I missing? Plus ads. Yeah. What am I missing? Oh gosh, what's this? Okay, let me just try using a simple validation for myself. I'll just use the validation I usually use most of the time. So I'll use the annotation, and I'll call this and backslash w backslash dots underscore. Yeah, so it starts with this words. These words mean word characters. Then the next one we're going to do, then it has like, we'll say plus it has like an at symbol like this. Then we give this another brackets backslash w backslash dot and no, not underscore, I think it's like this. I was making a mistake on this one. Then it has like a word character, any character. Can see the w means word character with any dots or something. Then the next thing is then we'll add backslash dots like this, and it should have like a word backslash w again. We add one or more word at the end. Then we now use our dollar sign to say end of string. Let's run it again. Let's see what happens. Valid email. I don't know the email. I think Google gave me a very specified email address. I just need like a basic email actually. So this is just the pattern. So you can get the pattern from anywhere. So if I should change this, if I should remove this at symbol and run it, it says invalid email right here like this. Okay, so that's just basically how you can match patterns. So don't I just want to apologize for the first issue that we had. you know Sometimes you have issues and stuff like that. So the next one I'm going to be working on is password. I'll try the password, but I don't want to make this video long, so how I'll just I'll just go to this one and say, I'll say how can I validate a basic, I'll cancel this, a basic password using regex and Python. A basic password, please give me something basic. So if I should show more, Why is this pattern too long? I just need a basic password validator in Python. Will you just use this pattern? So I'll just copy all this pattern so it meets all the requirement of a password. So this time around I'll make something. So this time around I'll make something cool. So match a password will have okay, yeah, this one is threatening. So I'll just say let's ask the user for their password. I'll just say user password. I want to make this as quick as possible. So I'll not say input. I'll not say enter your password. So you can play around, with it and test what you know. So to match the password, this now we're going to match again as we did for the email address. So now what we're going to do is I'll call it password pattern is equals, then I'll paste the regex I got from Google for matching password. So I'll tell the user to enter their password and then the regex pattern I matched from Google. So I'm just giving you guys a very good understanding of how we're going to be doing it. So the next thing we're going to do is if we use our regex.match again, dot match regex.match, then we'll put the pattern and I'll say password pattern, and then I'll now put the user password like this. Then if it's match, then what are we going to do? We'll print valid password. Then else we should print invalid password like this. So and then that's it for password in regex. If I should run this program like this, you say enter your password. I'll just clear these ones firstly so we won't get confused. I don't want to clear one node, so I'll just clear this one and leave my import regex and clear this one and match this password up right here. So enter your password. I'll just say ABCD. It says invalid password because this is not like, it doesn't have arts, it doesn't have numbers, it don't have capital letter and stuff like that as Google provided for us. So if I run this program again, let me see if I have like a valid password. Maybe I'll say Charles GBT at 98765. Let me see if it works. Valid password. So you can see you need to make your password strong, and because I don't know what Google gave us, but that's how you can validate your password in Python using regex as well. So now moving to the next very cool topic that we need to understand more about, we are going to be moving to PyInput Plus. So this PyInput Plus won't take much of our time like regex did because it's very understandable and very cool to use and work with. But the weird thing is that we can't work with PyInput Plus using this module. So what we can't work with it using JetBrains. We can't work with it using PyCharm from JetBrains. We need to use like a very Python's main text editor. So now if I go to my command prompt, so if you go to your command prompt like this. If you haven't installed PyInput Plus, all you need to click is pip, but make sure you install your ideal. So you can see my command prompt right here. So make sure you download the main Python text editor. This Python text editor. So if you click on it, it's the main Python text editor, python.org ideal. So you download, and I already have ideal installed in my system, so I don't need to do it. So it has many things. You can see pipe and many other things, PyInput Plus and many other things you can work with. So you have to download this one in this tutorial because it can't work with PyCharm. Okay, so after installing ideal, you go to your command prompt and click pip install PyInput Plus like this. So pip install PyInput plus. So if you run it, it will automatically install PyInput plus, and boom, you can work with it. But for me, I already have it installed. And if you have issues with installing the PyInput plus, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how you're going to install it. But once I click enter, I will install it. But now I already have it installed in my computer, so I won't click enter. I'll just delete it like this, and I'll close my command prompt. So now I'll go and open my ideal. I'll go search up my ideal, and I'll say ideal. I have ideal right here. So if I should click on ideal, ideal is the main Python text editor. So yeah. So now if I say import, if I say import, I'll say py in inputs plus. So in import PyInput plus as. So this as is so we won't be typing PyInput plus for every function. We can just call it pyip like this. pyip. So we won't be like repeating it every time. We'll just use pyip dot, do what we want to do quickly. So if you run it and it doesn't give an error, that means you have it installed. As for me, you can see it moves to the next line without an error, so you have it installed. But if you run it and it gives an error, that means it wasn't installed properly. Then you drop it and you say your issue, or you drop the error in the comment section, and I'll help you out with it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is, then I'll go to file. I don't really want to create my file, and I'll go and I'll click on new file. Now we have a new file. I'll just delete this. I'll delete this, and I'll open our new file. Wait, not now. I'll remove our new file, and I'll copy all this. Wait, so we can go to work with it in our new file. So I'll copy all this code, all this line of code like this, and this. Then I'll now go to our new file, and yeah, then paste it there like this. So I'll just zoom it out a little bit for you guys to see, and I can't zoom out anymore for that, so I just hope you can see this very clearly. And yeah, so that's it. So PyInput plus save users inputs, save what is PyInput plus? So to explain it, I'll need to go to my JetBrains, my PyCharm movie here. Okay, yeah. So why no, not the first line, yeah, PyInput plus, it's a save users input. Why is PyInput plus? Normally inputs in Python can break if the user types something wrong. But PyInput plus, pip install PyInput plus, this prompt to install it in Python makes inputs safer. It keeps asking until valid input is given. Okay, don't get confused. I know it's a lot taken in this long period of time, in this short period of time. I'll just explain it as we keep going. So now if I go to my ideal again, and let's get started with it. I'll say how it just work basically, just like collecting users inputs, normal users inputs. So if I have like ask for an integer, you want to ask for an integer, you can just say, and it's just, let's say we have user age, you want to ask user for their age, you can say user's age. Then we'll now call our, firstly we have to import our PyInput plus. So again, I'll do import PyInput plus as pyip like this. Then for as easy as it goes, you can also say pyip dot input. So what do you want to input? You want to input an integer, so you just say pyip dot input integer. Then you now ask the user for an input. So you now say enter your age, and like this, you give your space, and yeah. So there are many things you can do. You can do mean, you can do max, you can do blank, you can do many things. Okay, to not confuse you guys, you can do something like this, like many things you can do with your PyInput plus. You can add comma and be like blank is equals false, so the user can't enter a blank, a blank value. Then you can also do mean. Mean is equals 1. That means your name has to be like a minimum character of 1, and then a maximum character of equals 120. Instead, if it doesn't meet the requirements, PyInput plus will keep asking automatically for the user to enter the requirement. So you can just ask the user to enter their age, and you can also still add your own instructions. Okay, so firstly I'll have to save this. And I'll have to save this, so Control S, and I would save it as Charles GBT tests test 2. Yeah, I'll just save it as test 2, then save. Then if I run this program, then you go right here, run module. You're asking for the user's input. So now you see this short thing, enter your age. If I say if I don't enter anything, blank values are not allowed. If I say W is not an integer. So you see we are trying to accept integer. You can see, so enter your age, so you can see, and keeps going, this is not an integer, so automatically it keeps asking. So it's very cool. If I don't say 20, it does nothing because we don't want it to do anything. So this is a very good way of asking the user for input, and it's a very good way for input validation in Python. Okay, so I'll cancel this. Then you can also ask for a float. I can just say maybe I'll call this one user age float is equals pyip dot input. So what do you want to input? You want to input float, so it will accept only float, no integers, no string. And I'll just say enter a price. I'll just leave it as caps lock. So enter a price. So if I should save and run this program right now, you see, enter your age, also 20, enter a price. If I say 20, okay, it works. It works. I think float accepts integers as well, but it changes it to float automatically. Yeah. So we also have many other types of inputs, like we have yes or no. We have yes or no questions. Like now, let's say we'll call something answer is equals pyip dot input yes no. So you can see something like this. It only takes in yes or no values and many other things. So you can just ask, do you like Python? I'll just ask, do you like Python, like this. Then if I should run this program, you save and run module. I'll just say 20. Do you like Python? If I say 20, you see 20 is not a valid yes or no response. If I write anything, it's not a valid yes or no response. Yes or no. So we are prompting users to enter either yes or no. So if the only way to break this program is to enter yes, like this. So if I enter yes and click, it moves to the next line without an error or something like this. So PyInput Plus is a very good way for input validation in Python. You can also like use it to make play around, like also ask for some limits. Let's say you're asking the user for something and you want it to just be like 3 trials, even if it's password or something, 3 trials. So you can just do something like this. Let's say the user's name. I'll just call it user name, and I'll clear all these ones first so we can have enough space. So I'll clear all these ones. So now we're asking with limits. So user's name, we're asking the user to input their name. So user's name equals we'll use py input dot input. So we are collecting string. We're collecting a string. So we'll tell the user to enter your name. We can also as well print out the name like this. So we can also still print. It still works like normal inputs, but this one is very cool, and you can also print user's name. Maybe let me concatenate it with something. Is cool. Username is cool. So any name the user enter, will just say the user's name is cool. Then now enter your name. So now we can also give him like 3 trials by adding just comma. Then what do you want? Limits. So we want limits. So the limit would be equals 3. So this is the limit. So it will accept the user's input just like 3 times before crashing out the program. So if I save it and if I run this program right now, you'll see enter your name. If I say number, wait, number is saved as a string. Oh, I need to give like an error. So I'll just say, let me make blank to be false. So I'll say blank is equals false, false like this. So if I should save and run this program, blank values are not allowed, blank values are not allowed, blank. Oh, so what's the problem? Uh, enter your name, limit 3, limit. Which error did I use in the limit? So why is it giving me an error? This is not cool, this is not cool, this is not cool. Let's go again. Let me remove the blank value and let's run model. Oh, what's the problem? How? Oh yeah, let me try entering a decimal. I don't know if it will save the decimal as a distant string. Oh, why is it saving it as a string? So this is now getting confusing. Okay, let me enter an integer and I'll say enter your age and I'll give him 3 limits like this. Yeah. So let me run it. So let me run the program again. I don't know why it's giving me an error. I'll say, why is it giving me an error? What's this? Why is it giving me an error? Okay, I'll please, if you find a reason for it for now, so I don't want to waste much time in this video anymore, I will just move on to the next thing. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we have limits in Python, so you can use limits. Or is it because don't type click? Is this not the limit? Holy shit. Okay, yeah, if you figure out the reason why it's giving the error, please let me know in the comment section. So we'll move to regex input. So regex input is used for, let's say we want to like validate a postal code. So postal code is like, I'm currently in Canada, so if I say I'm going to be using our postal code, so postal code is equals, so I'm saving the postal code in a variable called postal. I'll call the power input plus then dot input regex like this and this. So firstly, what I'm going to accept is the postal code. So remember, we're adding regex to it. So I will just validate the postal code like this. So it would start with, our postal code starts with, so we have our annotation, square braces like this, A to Z and backslash D, then then A to Z, like capital A to Z. So what it means is it should start with either A to Z, any number from A to Z, then a digit, then a alphabet as well, then a space. I'll give space, so it will know that after letter, digit, letter, space, then how we are going to do it, digits and A to Z again, then digits like this. Then you should end with this. So this is the regex pattern for Canada's postal code. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is in brackets. We are going to do brackets. We are going to wait. I think I know the issue that I was. I think I know the issue that was with the limits. I was trying to concatenate this string. Let's run the program again. I was trying to concatenate an integer and it's the issue. Oh God, that's a lot. I've been doing a lot today. So let's run the program again. Oh, it will still give an error because I'm not done with the other code. 20. Yeah. So cool. So if I run this program, Okay, yeah, I want to kill it. So yeah, so that's it. So postal code, let's go for the postal code, and then after putting the regex, we are accepting this pattern. Then outside the pattern, we now prompt the user to enter a postal code like this. Okay, so now let's run this, run the module again, and enter your age. Why is it still giving an error? What's this? I'll just delete this trials. It's spoiling the whole program. And please, if you figure out the error, please let me know in the comment section. So the next, now run this program, and why is it not printing anything? Okay, what's the problem? Enter postal code and it's giving me nothing. Let me try to put prompts in front of it. Prompts is equals this. So if I should save and run this module, enter a postal code. So if I enter this, does not match the specific pattern. So yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say about prompts. Prompts is if you want to collect input from the user in Pi input plus, so you can use the prompt in some aspects. So you have to check everything that works, so you won't like fall into an error. So postal code would be, let me say, B 3W for Canada. No, it has to be capital letter. B 4W 3T5. So it works well, so it doesn't give an error, it moves to the next line. So this is how Canadian postal code is. So you can use it to also validate your postal code and stuff like that. So you, for regex, you can use it to also validate email, use pi input plus for many things. And again, you can also do have your own font, like your own formatted pi input plus, and like you can use your own custom pi input plus. There are lots of pi input plus you can use. So I don't want this video to take time, so I'll just quickly show you guys how it goes. So you can create your own input plus. Let's say you want to just accept only even numbers. You want to tell a user to enter even numbers, and we don't have like pi inputs even numbers only. So let's create a function of our own thing. So we'll just call it even number only, is name of our function. So if you're still finding it difficult in functions, make sure you check out my last video in function on functions. So I'll call it user number. So I have to collect the user's number inside the parameter. Then I'll call the function I'll say the number should be, we'll convert it to int. So we'll now say int user number is equal, so we'll convert this to int and it would be user number like this. So now we have converted this number, this parameter, to an integer, so it would be an integer. So the next thing we're going to be doing is if the converted int user number is equals, no, we need like it to be even numbers only. So modulus 2, if the user's number is modulus 2 is equals to 1, that means it means if the user's number is not even, that means divided by 2 gives a remainder. What we're going to do is we'll raise an exception, raise exception, and we'll say let's just print out the number is odd. Then else we'll, no else, we'll just return something. We'll return the int user number to our pi inputs plus. So now this is a custom function that we are going to be doing for our pi inputs plus. So this is the format, the way it's supposed to be. Then outside the definition, we now say user response, we'll just call it user response is equals pi inputs dot, we call the function called input custom, like this, custom. Like how we said pi input regex, pi input int, pi input string, float and stuff. So we do input custom. So we are inputting our custom fonts of custom function. So we now inside it, firstly we call the function. I'll call my even number only function, then comma, then we now prompt the user to enter an even number. So that's just it. So now we have created our own function. So you can use it as well in PyInput Plus. After creating your function, you call the function inside here and will prompt the user. So if I should run this code, I'll just delete this postal code. I'll delete this postal code and I'll save and run this program. Enter an even number. So if I say 3, the number is odd. 4 is even, so you say it. Okay, it doesn't, we don't want to print anything. I just want to show you guys how it works. Okay, so that's just it. So you can also create your own custom function and call it using the pi input and call it as a normal function. Okay, and hold on. So why pi input plus? Why should we use pi input plus? I'll just switch to my other. So why pi input plus? With inputs, if you type ABC instead of a number, program crashes. So but with pi input plus, program says invalid input and asks again automatically. So with pi input plus, it keeps asking till you put the right value. But with normal inputs, it just throws an error. But pi input plus tries to handle the error gracefully. So that's basically it. And now let's move on to the practice challenge together. So this is the practice challenge. You take your time and get to answer most of the questions. Do as much as you can. You can either use regex or PyInput Plus, but for the answering, I'll be using PyInput Plus for it because regex has a long pattern and this video is already too long. Okay, so I hope you're done and I hope you got a very good way of deriving the answer. Oh, let's solve it together. So now I'll be moving to my ideal to solve it because I'm going to be using PyInput Plus for the solution. Okay, so you can see the question in my ideal. So this one, build a mini form validator using regex and PyInput Plus, but I'll just be using PyInput Plus because regex will take a lot of my time. Okay, so then the first thing is ask the user for their name, letters only, age between 1 to 120. I'll just make this like between 18 to 120 or something. Then email, valid formats, postal code, Canadian format, and this keep asking until all inputs are valid and print a success message. Then you can see I've imported my PyInput Plus already, so I'll be using PyInput Plus for this solution. Okay, so and then the next term, firstly I'll say user name is equals, then I'll use my pyip inputs dot, and I'll say inputs. The first thing, what do you want to say? You want to collect name. So name, since we want only letters only, we won't be using string. Let's be using regex, pi inputs regex, so we can give the pattern as well using pi inputs plus, so we can work with pi inputs and regex as well. So now I'll use for inside this one, I'll use our r for regex and give the pattern. So the annotation starts with then in this square braces, either a to z, or it should start with small a to z. So this is the pattern. Then with it should be one or more digits at the end as well. So that's it. So we have start a to z. So we are collecting the user's name, and see this is the pattern it should collect. So now we are going to prompt the user. Prompt is equals enter your name. Okay, so now this is the first thing. The first solution have been solved. User's name, like this, we're going to collect the user's name. So the next thing we're going to be doing is collecting the user's age. User's age is equals to pi input dot inputs. This time we're going to use int for it. So inputs int integer. Then we're going to do prompt the user again. Prompt the user. Prompt equals enter your age. So we are prompting the user to enter their age. What is the requirement? So the age should be between 18 to 120. So what we are going to do now, we're going to call the min and max. So min age is equals to 18 and max age is equals to 120. So that's it. So basically we have done the second thing. The next one is user's email. To validate the user's email, to validate the user's email, we're going to be using pi input plus again. We're going to be using pi inputs regex input. So pyip dot, we'll call the function dot input regex. Then I'll now put this and we'll put our pattern, our regex pattern. Remember, in regex pattern, you have to use your raw string to escape it. So now email, we'll just go back. I think they have like a regex code. Wait, hold on. So I will just paste my email validation for regex using regex. I got the one we did earlier today. Then I would now put this. So we'll now prompt the user to enter their email. So I'll write prompt equals enter your email like this. Okay, so the next one we're going to be doing is they said we have done email name and age. They now say postal code. So we'll now say user postal code is equals pyip dot inputs regex again. So we're going to use the inputs regex function again. Regex. So what are we going to, how are we going to access the postal code? So I would just get from the one we did earlier today and paste it right here. Then this is the postal code validation. So we would then comma then prompt the user to enter your postal code. Okay, so that's it. So now we have say keep asking until all inputs are valid. So we don't need to do any while loop for pi inputs plus because it automatically keeps asking until all these are valid. Then after it, what we are going to do, we are going to print, let's print something cool. All users information all users information. I'll just print something like this. Then I'll print users name. I'll print users name and then I'll print users name and print user age and print user email and print user postal code like this. And I'll save, and that's basically what they need from us. So you ask the user for the input using regex or pi input plus, and then after asking the user for their input, you display all the details. If I should run this program, and if I should run this program, you can see enter your name. I'll say Charles. Enter your age, 20. Email tests at example.com. Postal code L3B2T5. Oh, L3B2T5. What does it not match? Okay, wait, let's try again. Enter postal code C4Y. Okay, capital letter. Oh, C4Y 45. Yeah, all users information. So you can see all my information right here. So it's just to validate inputs and many other things. So there are many ways you can derive the answers for this practice challenge, like this one as well. So you can use this as well for regex. So I do not have time to write all this code. So but if you use regex, this would work using while loop and regex. So you can also use this pattern, do the pattern, and check it out with regex, or you can use pi input plus as well to get the same result. Okay, so I know that's a lot to take in just 1 hour tutorial. It's a lot to take in, and even me, I'm stressed out. You can see how my tune was going down, down, down a little bit as I was talking. I was also stressed out with explaining and stuff. But that's basically all the things you need to know in regular expressions. And if you watch to the end, stick with me, my errors and many other things, I would really appreciate it. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember your feedback gives help me create better content for you all, and see you in the next video.